you believe that the way in which that case was built up, when an allegation suddenly comes up against you, and it comes up in 20th April, it comes up in the heat of the general election campaign, pressure is put directly on you. I don't know the backstory, I don't know what's happening. And the events later, the attempt to destroy your credibility, and also the attempt to stop you from working as Chief Justice of India, to basically put you out of a job, to put you out of the job of CJI, was not pre-planned, was not orchestrated. Are you saying it was an innocent application put by someone?
I am not saying that. You are saying it.
I'm not saying it.
You are saying that it was pre-planned. I don't speculate. I go by facts. Arnab, I don't speculate. I go by facts and I go by the result. Did they succeed, even if I am to assume that there was a conspiracy? Did they succeed? The answer is no. They did not succeed. I completed my tenure to my satisfaction. My family believed me. I completed all the judgments. I left no work incomplete. And today, I have earned the goodwill of a lot of people.
But at that time, in April, please, at that time,
and therefore,
as a sitting CJI, allow me to, you said, later that Friday night, the night when this allegation is made, when you return from Tirupati with your wife, and websites like Wire, Scroll, etc., Caravan, are sending you questionnaires, you come under pressure, and later that night you received information that an Article 32 petition is going to be filed in the Supreme Court, seeking inter alia orders restraining the CJI from discharging his duties till you're cleared of the charges.
Yes. Yes.
To throw you out of the job of CJI.
Did they succeed?
The question is not whether they succeeded. The question, I'll come to that later. The question right now is primarily that of intent.
How would I know what intent is there in whom? How would I know?
How would you not know? How would you not know?
It is a guess. I don't have facts.
You think an Article 32 petition is filed just like that?
No. Article 32 petition didn't get filed because I preempted it.
You preempted it by setting up a bench.
No, by setting up a bench which came under heavy criticism.
And you ostensibly, I think you made a mistake by putting yourself on the bench.
I acknowledge that mistake in the book.
Why did you do that?
I also give it the reason in the book.
You must have been worked up. Did you apply your mind fully when you did that?
Arnab, do you mind my asking you a question?
Please.
When your credibility is put at stake in Bombay, your hard-earned reputation over the years, how did you feel?
Well, I felt violated. I was worked up.
Yes.
And I fought.
Yes, 45 years of reputation that I built up as a lawyer and a judge is sought to be destroyed. So I constitute a bench. And I could have avoided sitting in it, but I sat. And I have admitted that in hindsight, perhaps I should have stayed away from that bench. I admit it. But what was the order passed by that bench? That's there in the book?
Yes, it is.
Yes. Did I give myself a clean chit?
You didn't give it yourself a clean chit.
That is the reason for the book.
Statement in one line to tell the media not to publish scandalous material.
That's all.
It's not even a
It's
ban
not a judicial order.
It's not a judicial order. It is what I would say judicial advice.
Right.
At the most.
Right. You're correct. But what is the message that is being spread? Gogoi sat on a bench, presided over his own case, and somebody has even said the accused decided his own trial, right, and gave himself a clean chit. Wrong.
Yeah. The charges were found to be unsubstantiated.
Yeah. Therefore, in my book, on that chapter that you mentioned, you will find no reference.
I want you to tell me what was it for you personally, if you don't mind my asking.
Beg your pardon?
What was it for you personally?
Personally, it was
you mentioned your wife.
Yeah.
She supported you.
Yeah.
You mentioned your daughter.
My children supported me.
You mentioned your son-in-law Tanmay, your daughter-in-law Kakoli.
Yeah.
But how was it, if you don't mind my revealing a little bit?
It was terrible.
What was it?
It was terrible. It was terrible. You would understand how bad it was, at least to the extent of 50%. Because You also suffered something like that at the hands of people we need not name. You feel, you know how much it pains. But what could I do? I was a sitting duck. What could I do? Look at the next thing, what these activists are talking about. Not lobbying, I don't use that word. I don't use borrowed words, borrowed expressions. Gogoi constituted the committee which will inquire into the allegations against him. He handpicked the judges. This is not even a half-truth. This is fake news, for which there is no prosecution in this country, unfortunately. There should be a law making it both a civil and a criminal liability. Fake news. Look at that letter which is in that book.
I have the letter.
On 23rd of April,
Yeah.
I wrote that letter to Bob Day,
Yeah.
saying, please take over.
Yeah.
Bob Day constituted that committee with the approval of the full court. Full court means all the judges of the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
That the signature and of all the judges of the Supreme Court is a part of that book, approving the constitution of that committee. Justice Ramana recused.
Yeah.
The committee was reconstituted on 25th of April.
The issue is not a procedure. What they say is that, and you've dealt with that as well, that this lady staffer who made the allegations against you was reinstated,
we'll come to
reinstated after your retirement, and that therefore proves that her allegations were correct.
Right. We'll come to that reinstatement. I am on the committee now, constitution. The committee, constitution and reconstitution of the committee was approved by the full court. All the judges of the full court have signed, are parties to that decision. This is ignored. For the first time, this is coming out in the public domain. Right? Reinstatement. I have mentioned in the book that reinstatement was made during my tenure as a CJI. It was not after my retirement.
Why did you do that?
I didn't do it.
Why would you allow it?
I could not have.
Why could you not oppose it?
I could not have been a party to it, because that letter for reinstatement on humanitarian grounds was addressed to Justice Bobde. Justice Bobde placed it before me. I said, I can't deal with the matter, you deal with it. Okay. He ordered for reinstatement.